Hey, all right. Hey, back on the Morning Brew. This is going to be fun. Thaison Garcia is with us today. He is, and we'll loosely use the term president
Thank you.
of the Duke City Rockers,
Correct.
which is a cafe racer club. Welcome, Thaison. Great to
Thank
have
you.
you here.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's a cafe racer group from Albuquerque, New Mexico. We've been around for about 9 years now, and this year we're going to have our 5th annual rally. So it's a 3-day event starting next Friday and Saturday, and it's going to start off at by the University of New Mexico, a place called Brickyard Pizza, and it's going to be at 6 o'clock on Friday night. Saturday night, it's going to be at the Albuquerque Press Club. So that's going to start like around 3 o'clock.
And how many racers will you have, cafe racers?
Generally, we have anywhere between about 50 to 70 cafe racer type bikes. We say cafe racer, but you know, it's pretty loose. We have a lot of you know, modern bikes come up and Harleys and stuff like that, people from out of town. So, yeah.
But you have a distinctive personal style.
Somewhat, yeah. The cafe racer is more like it's a British kind of style. And that was kind of coined right after World War II from Europe and Britain. And what started happening is a lot of the veterans that were coming back from World War II in Europe and Britain, they were fixing up a lot of old vintage motorcycles. So current for the time, but BSAs and Triumphs and stuff like that. It was pretty similar to what the Americans were doing with hot rods, with like Model A's and Model T's and stuff. So it was just a British style. And then I would say probably around the 60s and 70s, it started to become a little bit more popular in the United States as they started shipping those bikes, the you know, British bikes over the United States. And we're trying to keep that kind of vintage style alive, more or less.
And you're so clean cut.
Well, yeah.
It's an entire look.
To a degree. You know, part of the fashion back then in the 50s, you know, they were trying to mimic what a lot of the American kids were doing, you know, such as like Elvis Presley and
like the greasers.
The greaser kind of stuff, right? They were kind of mimicking that over in Britain. So it's the leather jacket and the rolled up jeans, the cuff jeans, and the slick back hair, and you know, they were kind of more listening to like the Elvis and the rock and roll of the time. And then there was kind of a clash with this subculture called the mods, which were the scooter folk, and they were the guys that were kind of, you know, listening to stuff more like the Beatles and stuff. So there was kind of a clash between the rockers and the mods in Europe and in Britain, and you know, we kind of just keep that somewhat traditional. You know, we don't have like a clash, but it's still historical.
So what do y'all do at your rallies when you get together?
So the Friday night's the meet and greet, and we have a lot of guests that come from out of town. So we meet at the Brickyard Pizza. That'll be about 6 o'clock, and we hand out our rally packs, which is a shirt, stickers, buttons, stuff like that. Kind of just meet people from out of town, check out the bikes, line up the bikes, get to know everybody, and go through the events. And then Saturday, we'll meet at the El Cafe. We'll ride out to Madrid for a full kind of ride, hang out there in Madrid for the town for a little bit, a couple hours, and then we'll head back to the press club like around 3. And then at that point, we'll have the hot rods that show up, the rest of the motorcycles. We'll have a couple bands.
But will you have Edsels?
Edsels?
Edsels? These old lemon cars. We taled about this in the headlines. It's today's Edsel day.
Somebody
I tried
around
a
here's
joke,
got an
but
Edsel.
I don't think any of that. It's going to be more of like the kind of rat rod, hot rod style.
That's cool. Will Dan Mayfield be there?
Dan will be. Are you guys big fans of Dan?
Yes.
I know he comes in often.
Yeah, he's on the show.
He's our
yeah. We actually kind of loosely, you use the term patched in, but we kind of patched him in, and he's an official member, and he's been riding with the club since 2009. So he's from Albuquerque. I'm not from Albuquerque. So he was even riding with the guys before I was there.
Now, you're a Marine Corps veteran?
I am a Marine Corps veteran, yes, I am.
And you are taking part of the money you raise from this event to do what?
Okay, so there's an organization called Paws and Stripes, and it's a great organization. And what they do is they match up a service animal, service dog, with returning veterans, with returning vets. And a lot of these veterans might be suffering from PTSD or have symptoms coming back from the Middle East or from war. And what they do is it's a 6-month program, and they basically pair the dog up. They train with the veteran. They train the dogs. They train the veterans. it's a full-time commitment, and what they do is they're starting to notice that a lot of these veterans, I guess, are having an easier transition, being that they're with a service dog. And what we're going to do for them, it's called Paws and Stripes, is we're going to donate some of our proceeds, about 10% of our proceeds from this event, for the Paws and Stripes organization.
Very nice.
And you know, it's something that's near and dear to my heart, being that you know, I'm a veteran myself, and one of my buddies actually just went through the graduation program, so it's a good thing to see.
It helped him.
It did. You know, a lot of these pets, they train these dogs so well that the pets can give the veterans signals. So if the veteran's feeling stressed out, or the veteran feels like you know, he's in an uncomfortable environment, the dog will actually, you know, do things like pull them to get them out of the area, or they'll sit down to let them know, you know, it's time to calm down, or you know, it's kind of a soothing mechanism. So yeah, it's a great program.
What incredible
really
animals.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, who doesn't love a good dog? And you know, it's really good to see something more positive for these vets versus kind of medication and
Exactly.
over-medication. Yeah.
They just need love, and they need just that contact. Those
Exactly.
the animals have such healing energy.
I mean, it's such a healing process for humans that you know, it's a genius idea. And
Paws and
I'm
Stripes.
glad, Paws and Stripes, and I'm glad they're finally getting this off the ground.
Well, Thaison, I think you have the look for this.
Well, thank you.
You really do.
I love it.
Doesn't
Yeah.
He looks great.
It's, you know, it's kind of, you kind of just, I hate to say it, but you know, you're
It's
kind
hard
of
to look away.
you're kind of just born into this. You know, when a lot of my friends were, you know, listening to hip hop and stuff like that, I was still listening to Johnny Cash and Elvis Presley, and you know, it just kind of became part of me. So.
What it is.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Well, thank you.
Well, it's a whole cafe racer lifestyle and
Culture.
culture
yeah.
that's out there. So the rally again is starting next Friday.
Next Friday,
right?
exactly.
Okay.
And we're going to meet again at Brickyard Pizza, and that's going to be at 6 o'clock. And then from there, be ready for a cool weekend.
And this time of year is absolutely perfect
Oh, it's
for
beautiful.
riding.
Yeah, it's the best time of year for weather.
Awesome.
Last couple of days have been kind of hot, but we're hoping that next
cool
weekend's going to cool off, and
Yeah.
it'll be great. So.
Thaison, what's the feeling that you get when you ride your bike?
Well, you know, it's a great feeling being a part of this club, because you know, we're traditionally kind of the cafe racer club, but we don't have a lot of like standards and total guidelines, and you know, it's not the traditional club where you have to look a certain part or drive a certain kind of motorcycle. I mean, we prefer the cafe racer look, but when we're together and we're, you know, part of the family, we're wrenching on each other's motorcycles and fixing each other's bikes, and we get them out for a good weekend. You know, we call that air therapy. It's just, you know, it's relaxing, and it's a good way just to kind of get out. And New Mexico has such beautiful scenery.
That's a good
you know,
social time, too.
Exactly, and you can't help but to enjoy part of New Mexico on a motorcycle. You know, it's a great time.
It's the best way to see it.
It is, really. It really is, yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for being on our show
Thank
today.
you, guys. Appreciate
Great to
you
meet
having
you.
us.
Amber's loving the shirt. I think she's
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
That is
This will
really
be for
cool.
Craig.
All right.
Thank you,
there you
guys.
go. Thaison Garcia with the Duke City Rockers Cafe Racer Club. And there's the URL. Go check them out online. We're going to have a final cup in just a moment. We'll continue on the Morning Brew after this.